Studio Ponok is a Japanese animation studio based in Musashino, Tokyo, Japan. The company was founded by former Studio Ghibli lead film producer Yoshiaki Nishimura in April 2015. I am Matthew, author, artist, and commentator, and these are my offhand remarks on Mary and the Witch's Flower. Mary and the Witch's Flower came out in 2017 and is based on Mary Stewart's children's novel, The Little Broomstick, which was published in 1971. So, watched this movie, I liked it, and I wanted to talk about it. It felt like Studio Ghibli's greatest hits, and I liked that for two reasons. The first, I have really enjoyed everything I've seen from Ghibli. The second reason is that I hope the next Studio Ponok project won't feel like a pastiche of Ghibli movies. I want these people to make a work that really stands on its own because they are so good at what they do. At what they did before, which is what they did before went into this movie a lot, if you understand what I'm trying to say by that. But they can't just keep echoing Ghibli. There was a line in the movie at the climax, or right about there, where Mary shouts, "We don't need magic!" And as she is headed home, kind of in the denouement, she expresses an interest in never using magic again. She has had enough, she's done, and moving on with her life. I wonder, because Studio Ghibli has picked books for their works in the past, like Something Earthsea, which was directed by Miyazaki's son. I can't remember what it's called. Something Earthsea. Tales of Earthsea, I think? Or, wait, no, was that the other guy? You know what? I'm getting my stuff confused. But, like, Ronia the Robber's Daughter is a book by Astrid Lindgren, I believe. And that's a TV show that Ghibli did that the son of Miyazaki is like the director of, and it's a Studio Ghibli thing. And there's one about these little people. I can't remember what it's called, but my daughter really loved it, and it was cool. It was fun. But that was based on a book. I was under the impression when I was much younger that all of the Studio Ghibli projects were. I foolishly thought that Hayao Miyazaki was Studio Ghibli. I think stuff like Spirited Away and Castle in the Sky and oh gosh, what was their first big film? Secret of the Wind. It's named after the girl, and there's like giant bugs in it. Anyway, I can't remember what the title of it is, but I believe those were all originals to him. But I don't know about the rest of them. Totoro, I think is... No, there was a little book I think we read. Anyway, doesn't really matter. That's not the point. My point is, Studio Ghibli, under Miyazaki's leadership, as well as other people, because he's not the only thing. But these are offhand remarks, not well-researched points that I'm bringing up, so forgive me. Like, they picked children's books and turned them into amazing-looking movies with really neat stories and stuff. So I figured... or I thought it was interesting when I noticed that The Little Broomstick is the book that this is written, or this movie is about, and I wonder if the book was chosen because it would enable the creatives at Studio Ponok to pivot from their staff's past at Ghibli to like who and what they're going to be in the future. And I think that's kind of an interesting idea. I like that idea. I don't know. I hope I don't like it because it's my idea. I think it's really neat that, because they've done some short films, Studio Ponok, but I didn't look at any of those, so I don't have a comparison really. But I almost wonder if, because Studio Ghibli made a bunch of movies based off of children's books, if Studio Ponok chose for their first feature film to be a movie based on a children's book, full of all the magic and wonder that you can get out of a lot of Ghibli movies, but that had a character whose story was, yeah, I'm going to kind of dabble in this world and mess with things a little bit there, but then move on and kind of be my own person. I guess I'll go ahead and spoil a little bit of Mary and the Witch's Flower, which you should definitely go see. It's on, I think it just came to Netflix, and it was really great. It was like, I think it was 2 hours, but it didn't feel like 2 hours. I mean, it felt long, but it was a very it didn't feel long. I knew it was long, but it was very enjoyable all the way throughout, and I'd watch it again, honestly. I mean, I sure wouldn't mind. There was a lot of tension. I had no idea what was going to happen or what it was about. So there was a lot of tension and suspense throughout, which is good, of course. But I think I'd really enjoy watching it again, knowing how things turn out, which I'm kind of going to tell you right now. So Mary is this redheaded girl with frizzy hair. She and her mom and dad are moving in with her great aunt Charlotte in what appears to me to be the country. It looks fairly rural. And I don't know if they're moving from another country. They have similar-ish accents, so maybe just from a different part of the country. And anyway, she's been sent ahead of her parents, it seems, maybe for the summer or for a couple weeks in the summer as her parents are taking care of whatever business they have to in order to be ready to live with her and her Aunt Charlotte in their new home. And which I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be England or Scotland or Ireland or what, but it's somewhere, as most places are. Anyway, so she's a klutz. She's not good at anything. She's got this red hair that she hates, and she is basically put off by all the adults around her, saying that they don't want her help and that she's kind of useless to them in the nicest possible way. They're saying these things, and she's really eager to help and to be involved and to do something, and especially because school hasn't started yet, and apparently most of the kids are on holiday away from the town until school starts in about a week after the first day we meet Mary in the movie. And so she's like really not sure what to do with herself. There's this boy who she meets who's super important to the plot. Oh, Peter, there we go. And he kind of gives her a hard time too, kind of playing into her being useless and feeling like kind of like she doesn't want to be herself, like she wishes she were somebody else. And then she ends up finding this witch's flower and crushing one of the flowers, or like the fruit that grows on it, and it imbues her with all this magic, and she ends up getting transported to this witch academy, basically called Endor, which I mentioned to the family as we were watching, that's a reference to, well, literary, yeah, because it's, now that I know it's from a book written by a Western European woman, I can clearly say that she was referencing from the book of Samuel, 1 Samuel, or is it 2 Samuel? Anyway, from the book of Samuel, King Saul goes to consort a witch who is like a necromancer that will call forth Saul the prophet from the grave, so that he can talk to her about something. And anyway, he gets in big trouble for that and whatever, but she was the witch at Endor, or the seer at Endor, necromancer. However, I'm not sure what the Hebrew is there, so I couldn't tell you that, but I do know it comes from there, so that's kind of a fun little thing, fun little reference. But anyway, she goes to this Endor Witch Academy, basically, and she has these marks on her hands from the fruit of the witch's flower, and there's this whole intricate plot that basically involves her being seen as this really powerful witch, and according to the lore presented in this story, red-headed witches are like supremely powerful. Like, they are naturally adept and more powerful than anybody else. And, you know, of course, whether or not they apply themselves, I'm sure makes a lot of difference, but still, it stands that she is basically a prodigy because she's got red hair, and she's got these marks on her palms too that prove that, like what type of power, or like what powerful class of magic she has, or like what magic potential she holds within her. And then she proceeds to be offered a couple, like the first person who encounters her there is this creature. We couldn't decide if he was a mouse or a badger or a wolf or a fox or what, but he's this nice guy called Mr. Flanagan, and he like is kind of in charge, like he's a groundskeeper type guy, and he kind of chides her about how she's not caring for her broom properly, and there's like a whole broom stable, which is really a cute idea. But anyway, so like he sees her, like, oh wow, you like, I saw you flying in, you did a really great job. And then this headmistress of the school, compliments her on her red hair and tells her, oh, you must be a powerful witch, and like, can you do this, can you do that? Then there's this scientist guy who's researching stuff, and like the two of them together basically like shower her with compliments and then put her in situations where she can perform magic, and she's absorbed all this magical energy from the witch's flower, and it enables her to do amazing things that are above and beyond what they would expect from her. And so she appears to be extremely competent in this world of witches. But she ends up going home, and the headmistress, I don't remember if she figures out she's a fake right then and there. Yeah, she figures out she's a fake as she's leaving. And then basically like her lying about who she is and her wanting to be someone else who's more competent and accepted and given accolades and compliments by people, and her like giving into that selfish desire causes things to go horribly wrong, and this Peter guy gets kidnapped, and anyway, she rescues him, and she actually has to find the witch's flower and crush the fruits and absorb the magic for a short time again. Like she does it like twice more, I think, and that enables her to save the day, and she's very selfless, and there's an opportunity for her to flee from danger and just go home and leave Peter, and she doesn't, and it's just awesome. It was very emotional. I love seeing courage and heroism in people in stories, especially when they have every reason to want to quit and just go home, and that was really cool. So anyway, I didn't really have a central thrust other than I wanted to talk about how this was a really good movie, how it was, like the technical expertise that was put into it was really good. It was very well written, yada yada. It seemed very much like a Ghibli pastiche, which it may or may not have been. I don't know how much Ghibli has adapted each of the books that it's, well, I don't know how great the degree of adaptation was on each book that Studio Ghibli adapted into a movie, and I also don't know how much Studio Ponoc adapted The Little Broomstick into Mary and the Witch's Flower, and if they like purposely pulled elements from other Ghibli movies and put them in Mary and the Witch's Flower, just to say like, hey, look, we did this before, we're doing it again, this is the last time, like Mary, this is the last time we're playing with this magic, I'm going to do something else with my life and be a different person. But I think that's great, a great idea if that is indeed their intention, and I would kind of love that to be true. And I look forward to seeing the next Studio Ponoc movie, and who knows what it will be about, but I really hope that they go ahead and do it, because I read on the wiki that the movie met with pretty good success, and I think it'll be well received on Netflix because it's so good. And like I said, I look forward to seeing what they do in the future, and I'm just rambling, so I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Let me just, if you've seen the movie, tell me what you think. Do you think it was a pastiche of Ghibli movies? How many Ghibli movie moments did you pick out there? I can think of like 3 or 4 that we thought, hey, that's from this movie, or that reminds me of that Ghibli movie. So anyway, if you want to go ahead and leave that in the comments, that would be nifty. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you can watch every video as it becomes available. Thank you so much for your time. If you enjoy my work, please give it a like and share it, if you'd like to chat, hit me up in the comments or tweet me at RC_Moon, and that's Moon with an MUN. Be well, and remember, don't curse that darkness, shine your light. Until next time.